Welcome back to episode 3, and I believe turn 8 of this Hinnom series. Looking at the turn, we see some site searching results. We find quicksand, which is a Earth 1 site, 1 gem. We have 2 battles this turn, and we foresee a major event in 3 months. Oh, haven't shown research. I'll show that after as well. Let's see. First battle. This was on that wasteland. 5 unit of 5 dudes. Hitting pretty close to nothing. Fast speed. Trample them, surprise. Easy fight. No losses. Right, no losses. Second fight. So we're converging these 2 expansion armies. The leftovers in my capital with the leftovers of the one that hit that other wasteland. It's like 5 chariots and 3 infantry. We're mopping up this province we failed to take before. So speeding up. Just gonna see trampling again. Looks like no losses this time. See 5 chariots, 3 infantry. Okay, so we see an event. A major event that will occur in 3 months' time. A death match, that is the arena. So we're playing with the better arena mod, which means we get... I'm not sure if this is just from having a mage with... What's the attribute? Like... whatever the event that spots... not event, the attribute that spots events is. That's why we're seeing this message, but either way. This gives us time to recruit a milker to prepare for this competition. And for the mod of the better arena, as a reward, instead of the crappy generic junky items you get construction 8 unique items. So it is extremely worthwhile to go in and try to win it. Me being Hinnom in a game filled with humans, I don't have a lot of competition that can kill a Melkart this early on in the arena, so I fully expect to win it if I get a Melkart out. If we look at my capital, I'm doing 1 mage this turn, but I imagine next turn I'll start the Melkart. We see this next Horite Shaman coming up. He's headed to this woods. I'm hoping to find nature sites by searching woods. I forgot to mention last turn, this site has a wild forest in it. A nature 0 site, so it was visible when we took it. That was the start of our nature income. In this wasteland we have an inkpot end. Spreads disease, hooray. Did our commander get disease? No, so we're happy there. We're sending him out right away. Up here on the left we see a Micklin Jaguar warrior army, and we see a pretty large Archocephaly army. These jaguars are pretty scary. Means he probably, or almost assuredly, went a Jaguar Micklin Bless. If it's anything like quickness or any sort of offense-oriented Bless, I do not like how giants match up against a bunch of jaguars. And if he has an awake Bless, then I'd be worried about who he wants to fight. I definitely don't want him to fight me early on. Especially where I'm scales and don't really have a good defense against him at this stage. Let's see, elsewhere, this guy's moving around. We have our next expansion army. It's a bunch of Dawn Guard with some leftover points into Allied Swordmen, taking this easy province. This initial expansion army is coming home. I am merging this army, sending him to take this. We see that Baratos did not move south any further, so he either took this or he's going home somewhere else. It looks like if he went here, Baratos would beat me here. So I'm just trying to grab this up and grab land between myself and Baratos while I have with what I can at this time. Am I recruiting any independents? No here, no here, no here, no here. No here, here, no. As a start, you can see we're starting to get a decent little gem income going. 1 nature, 2 death, 1 earth started up. So it's kind of good. Finding a little bit of everything that this Horite shaman can find us, though admittedly he didn't find us this nature site. We just got lucky. This is headed home. Can't handle these barbarians. Can't handle these tribe cavalry. No diplomacy. I think that covers that. But what am I recruiting? Okay, I am going fully into Dawn Guard right now. Okay, next turn. Actually, what turn was that? That was turn 8. Okay, we're going to turn 9. 2 battles. This is that merged up expansion squad getting these Jade Amazons. I didn't do the hold and attack this time to like separate out the Jade Maidens. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do that, but it looks like this is working decently as is. But optimally, I probably should have done the hold and attack so I could wait for the cavalry to run ahead of the infantry. See, 2 mages here again. Ooh, this is an enormous cauldron. And she doesn't have an item, though she is nature 2. Old lucky there. I would love to get that cauldron, but looks like she's getting away. No luck getting items off independence this game. Second army, Dawn Guard and heavy medium swordman infantry. Heading up, gonna smack the enemy infantry. That route's kill the slingers. No item on this guy. Okay, get out. Okay, let's see, any losses? No losses here. So this gives you an idea of how giant infantry do against human infantry. We had 10 units, or 9 units against 13, and it was a pretty easy fight for these guys. Of course, these are 3 or 4 times the gold cost of this guy, but just on like a unit per unit comparison, this is like the power of giant infantry. This battle, no losses. Alright, 2 events. First event, Bad Omens, Misfortune. Cool. Second event, Dysentery, +2 Sloth. Hooray. So, luck scale's not paying out yet. We have the start of winter. It looks like I'm merging up these 2 armies. I also recruited a indie commander here, I think I'm planning to make a fort here next. Looking up here, my scouts, continuing to watch Baratos for my expansion. I see he did not take this, so he either failed the fight or opted not to do it. So I want to take this province before Baratos can try to work his way down. It's only heavy infantry and slingers. Should be no problem for these charioteers. In the capital, have this guy walking out with the next army. It has a bunch of infantry added into it, and I think he is eyeballing these Pegasus riders next. These two armies merging up probably to take these horse cavalry or these barbarians. Site searching this. Site searching this. Hold on, I need a cough. Excuse me. Throat's getting dry. Okay. Research, I have not shown that yet. Okay, so we had random starting text. I got evocation 1.5, enchantment 1.5, construction 1. Possibly got conjuration 1. But all my research I am focusing on conjuration 3 for elementals. And slightly for earth power, but primarily for elementals. So doing access to these early on, because this is the most power I can bring to a fight if someone rushes me. Who might rush me? Well, we have we have Micklin to the left, and if he doesn't have magic weapons on his jaguars, then air elementals, fire elementals will be somewhat resistant to his jaguars and might deal some damage. Air elementals are also pretty decent at fighting awake expanders. No one's really going to have lightning resistance early on unless it's in the bless. But don't really see a lot of lightning resistance paths on an awake expander for the bless. So that's why I'm doing that tech. So that's turn 9. Quit to turn 10. Two sites. Dying Forest, that's either death or nature. Full folk, we actually find our first nature income. That's not just there, so that's cool. I have one battle choking off Baratos from this land, so speeding up. Chariots trampling. The chariots sort of spread up there, so not ideal. Looks like no losses though. Nice, perfect expansion. So we see here, was it Dying Forest? Yeah, so Death 1, Nature 1, that's a really nice site. Unfortunately, it gives death scales. And we see here, pretty sizable Jaguar army. Which could be threatening us. And I am building a fort here. Somewhat questionable to do that fort when there is a scary Jaguar army. But I think it was this turn we learned that Micklin is attacking Morverni, whose capital is here, and started a war against them. It's either this turn, last turn, or next turn, but I recall it was really early at the end of this year 1. So I think that's why I felt safe building this fort here. Because I presume to know that Micklin got busy and has no reason to attack me when he has another war starting. This army, I think I merged up the stuff, and I am starting to take the land in my back that's sort of secured off. And we see here in Baratos' capital a divine mummy, scorpion beasts, and Longdud. So Baratos got pretty unlucky with some pretty nasty independence in his capital ring. And this really explains why Baratos hasn't come down the left at all, because he can't get past this with his early stuff unless he has an awake. I don't recall what a divine mummy precisely is, but I think it's an undead with like 50 to 100 HP. I think it has magic paths as well, so it's a pretty nasty fight. These scorpion beasts, I think these are just animals, but they're like size 4, some pretty nasty offensive damage, so his human infantry's gonna have a huge issue fighting this. Alright, this army is off to secure this Amazon province. We see a Baratos sage, and we can presume it is site searching. So he's sort of doing what I'm doing. He got a very early site searcher out as well, trying to find gem income, trying to scale with that, sacrificing some early research to get more gem income. Generally, if you don't feel threatened by war, I also favor finding that closer income, but it sort of varies by nation you play. This fort's getting close to done. Why on earth is he blood hunting? Where's my gold going? Okay, so I started this fort. I believe this guy is blood hunting to pass time. Maybe he finds a blood slave, maybe he doesn't, but next turn when I have the gold, he'll be building labs to join this fort. So I can start on mage production. It's a waste of time for him to like run out and then come back. He actually doesn't have anywhere he can really go to this turn to site search. This, all site searched. Guess he could go here, site search, then come back. But that would be delaying the lab here by 2 turns, which would be a age actually, so probably not valuing it. It's more turn efficient for this guy to wait here a turn. Yeah. So this guy is still site searching, this guy is expanding here. I'm going here while the river is frozen. This looks like the easier fight. Is this guy bringing troops now? Okay. Yeah, while the river's frozen, going there. It'll be late winter next turn, so if I don't feel like I can take this heavy cavalry, I can just cross the river again. Yeah. This is coming here. Did I show the script? Just sort of an attack, double attack infantry in front to hopefully take archer, aggro, cavalry. Chariots on the side. Okay, that covers that. That was turn 10. our scout sitting put. And yeah, I'm very interested in watching what Baratos is doing. I don't think I've seen or heard signs that he has an Awake Expander. So right about now I'm trying to size up who I want to fight. Between Nicklin, Baratos, and Sarumadia. I definitely don't want to fight Nicklin if he has a Bless. Don't want to fight Sarumadia. I don't really have the borders to fight him either. Russ I don't have much info on yet, so like Baratos I'm definitely keeping an eye on because he's probably the ideal person to fight. So I'm trying to just gather as much information as I can on him. Like, if he does have an Awake and it eventually comes here, perhaps this turn I can figure out what it is. Plan out counters. So that's this turn. Turn 11 is next. So, no blood slaves found. Didn't get lucky there. 3 battles. This expansion party. Units in state group, that's not good, but easy win. Any losses? No losses. I think I just clicked the same province. Yeah, I did. Second battle, the Wind Tribe, not Wind Tribe, what is it? Pegasus Riders Crystal? Yeah, Crystal Province. This guy's got a magic item, nothing on her. So I've been very hesitant to fight these Pegasus Riders. I'm assuming that with these light lances they're just gonna fly up and slap down here, possibly hitting my commander. That's why I did not fight it with my initial expanding army. But this army has a lot of Dawn Guard in it, has a lot of infantry. That's my profit. So I believe I'm doing hold and attack for my troops. I'd have to check. It's possible I'm doing Guard Commander on the commander as well. So, I'm gonna watch this. So, these flying cavalry are making very good use of their 50 gold cost to shoot short bows at us. So this fight was far easier than I thought it would be. Just because these guys are shooting arrows instead of doing what they should be doing with their 19 defense skill, is dropping in to fight in melee. With their lance bonuses. So we run up, get some archers. Their archers are even in front of the Pegasus Riders. So we might just rout the whole army before we even get to the Pegasus Riders with the HP rat on the Indies. We have decent surrounds on those. They run. That ended up being a far easier fight than I had feared. I recall at the time that I did not expect this army to win, but I was getting anxious that Baratos might take it. So I was kind of risking this army over what I thought it would potentially do to me. But easy fight, no losses. If you see Pegasus Riders, hope they shoot arrows at you, I guess. Maybe it's standard for them to shoot arrows. I don't know. It's kind of hard to test it. Third battle, taking this. Chariots. Run over the tribe troops. Run over the second squad. Looks like we took a couple losses there. But we win. We lost 3 chariots, so that's a pretty sad army now, but we won. 2 events. We gain a lab, 7 gems, a shield, and that's a pretty nice event. That's our first good event, I believe, if we skip over province defense. But minus 300 gold. Games makes sure to keep things balanced for us. Worldwide event. We have the arena. We finish our first fort. So, we did finish the Dawn Guard here. Not Dawn Guard, it's our Malkurt. It rolls fire, so this is by far the least useful one we have early on. It will cast Fire Shield when I have the tech. Don't know if I have the tech yet. It's enchantment 3, so I don't. I don't know if you can cast spells in this Death Arena. But, you know, we're sending him in. Still an extremely strong commander. So, I expect to win it. We see this Miklin army. It took this throne. We see it took this province. So, we know Marverni has its capital here. We have to assume Marverni expanded here. Sin is capturing. It's a forest province. This river sort of blocks his expansion south. So like he kind of has to go either west or north. It's turn 11, so he definitely had time to like get here. But since this is taken, I think we can assume there's a war going on without relying on diplomacy. Yep. We have our next army. This guy has a small squad of troops, 5 infantry. I'm just adding in more troops to this army. I have a commander recruited here. For the next army, I have this guy searching. This guy is now building his lab. Cool. This army took the Amazon, so I'm gonna start shuffling him over here. I now have like this land cordoned off. This is like an example of a hook strategy. Like I came up here, I took this swamp, I hooked around this province to like secure it behind me. This is a throne, so people probably aren't gonna take it. Like Arco's the only one who can, and he has to like walk from his capital here down all the way around here, so it's really risky for him to like expand in like this single line to it. So I'm not too concerned about losing this to others. Okay, so I think that covers it for this turn. Finish Conjuration 3. Next up, Construction 4. I want to start getting Dwarven Hammers out. I want to get Melkart gear out. For Melkarts and Thugs in general, if you need gear on them, I prefer to go the tech to make the gear first before the combat tech. Let's see. So, if I do the items first, or the items tech first, I can forge the items, put it on him, and I can start moving the Melkart out to fight. And as I get the combat research for him done, I can then script it in the field. So it's sort of like a more time efficient tech path to do. I can just equip it out and start walking him out, and when I get the tech, like he'll always not always, he'll already be walking around ready to fight. Whereas if I do the fighting technology first, I need to walk him back to a lab when I get the gear, so it's just more time efficient to get gear first than fighting tech. Let's see. My gem income still sort of decent. I have 3 death gem income, so I'm starting to think about how to use the death gem income. I only have like death 1 access, so the best way to use it is to get a death booster, which is like a 10 gem item at construction 4. You need death 2 to craft it, so I know I'm talking to some players on if they can craft it for me. Sarumadia is one of them. Don't know if there's anyone else. Baratos, I think might have death access. I don't recall. Actually, I don't think it does early on. Mantis in the ocean doesn't. Oh, Satis, right. Satis is the other person I'm asking. Him and Sarumadia probably aren't pushing construction tech early, so I might have to wait a while to boost up to death 2. Okay, that covers this turn. Expansion's sort of coming to a close in part, like my expansion east is done, my expansion north is almost done, my expansion west is almost done, and we're now finally going towards the land I have partitioned with Russ. So because I have like these border agreements with Russ, excuse me, I'm doing these last because there's no threat to someone taking it, or at least there's reduced risk because he could break the agreement, but he hasn't so far, so I'm just wrapping up taking this. These barbarians scare me. It's 100 now. I think it's been 60 in other turns. So I don't really want to fight these with my infantry. Chariots don't really handle them well in small numbers, so I'm sort of conceding the province to Miklin if he wants it. If he doesn't, then I can take it much later on, but for now. I want to get armies like around here to take these. I need a big army to take these heavy cavalry. And I see this is one of my very high gold income provinces, so I want that. Let's see. Recruitment, still mages. Only a couple Dawn Guard this turn. I think I'm doing... Oh no, I had the minus gold event, so I can't recruit much. Right, yeah. Alright, so... one notable thing is I don't believe I have any scout provinces, or provinces that can recruit scouts. I mean, I guess like this fort could technically, but don't really count forts. Yeah, so the only province I can get something that has stealth in it is this Atadi Chieftain. 40 gold for a scout's a bit expensive. I think my national scout is also 40 gold, yep. So, he's only 50 stealth. Is this guy more? Less? He's less, so I don't even want to really use him. But I don't expect to have a lot of good scouts this game at this point, or in the early point. It's going to be expensive to get them. So that's going to be an area I suffer in. Like, I don't have a scout that can watch this war, which is unfortunate. Niklin's the nation that worries me most. I think I said it before. His sacreds are really scary for giants. They can dish out just so much damage, and they don't really care about the high HP giants because giants have of medium armor. Not the best skills compared to like a quickness jaguar. Okay, that covers this turn and this episode. Thank you for watching. I think I ran long this one, but yeah, we'll see you next time.